I'm going to stick with him until he wilts or he brings us all the way. So he gives a lot of respect to players. So every player that goes training every night, he knows he's an opportunity to get on the team.
And this, Declan, is one of the things about Galway down through the years that we have seen this year again, a consistency in the teams that they're actually picking, because as Pete knows, like for the last couple of years, and you know yourself with Galway teams, it's different every time they went out.
Yeah, well, even back to Gerlach Nan's day, I mean, the team mightn't have been named for 5 minutes before the throw-in.
The time it ran out to the field and it actually started the match.
Absolutely, you know. But in fairness to John, like last year was his first year, and he, you know, every manager has to learn a few lessons along the way as well. And I think John really has learned. And this year, you can see it in Galway's performances all through consistency. That's the key word from Galway's point of view, and not to be over-reliant on Joe Canning. So both things have been like that in the league. Now, if they can maintain that and carry it through, that'll define how well they will do ultimately in the championship. But so far he's pressing all the right buttons, and tonight will be another test, but you know, they should have enough for Wexford, unfortunately. OK
lads, we're going to take a short break here on the programme right now. More in our build-up to Galway versus Wexford right after that. Programme. It's Galway versus Wexford this evening in the Leinster Hurling Championship. Now, a little bit earlier on, we were talking about that long gap since Galway last claimed the Lee McCarthy Cup, 1988. But for Wexford, the years are also slipping by since those magical days for the purple and gold.
In 1996, Martin Storey lifted the mood of Wexford when they won their 6th All-Ireland title.
It's all over. Wexford are the champions.
Losing to Dublin at the Leinster semi-final stage last year was a low point, as was defeat to Limerick in the qualifiers. However, some serious rebuilding under the guidance of manager Colm Bonner brought a Division 2 league title this year, some hope for the future, and a return to the glory days of the past.
Yes, and we must remind ourselves this is the Leinster Championship and this is Wexford's natural environment. Let's hear from the Wexford manager. That is Colm Bonner, and he's been talking to Darren Frehel.
Colm, you already have the Division 2 title to your name, you have momentum, but it's going to be another big step up today.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Galway have been tested by the best teams in the country, the Division 1 champions, the Walsh Cup champions, you know, so we're not underestimating the task, but we're well up for this championship, and that's how you measure players.
Now, people already talking about a Galway Kilkenny Leinster final. Do you need any more motivation than that?
No, our players don't need any motivation. You know, once we always train with one eye in the championship, and you know, we did struggle a bit in Division 2, but this is championship, and we're ready to hit the ground running. So I'm expecting a great battle from our lads, and to be right in it up to the final few minutes.
Yeah, Colm Bonner's success, of course, Declan Ruth at the highest level with Tipperary. What has he brought to Wexford hurling?
I suppose he's coming from a slightly different place than John McIntyre, even though it is his second year as well. He would have learned an awful lot, but he would have had to get used to the systems and the structures in Wexford hurling and the players more than John. But in fairness, he's
two Tipman, of course, in charge of the two teams.
That's true too, yeah. But in fairness, he would have learned from last year. He would have targeted Division 1, which was essential. He was very disappointed, I suppose, not just with the league, but the championship last year, targeting getting out of Division 1, and they've done that. Obviously, the next target then was the championship, the first round, and obviously they'll be looking for a win. I mean, they're not going up there to play second fiddle, but at least be competitive. He's introduced some nice blend of youth, as I said, in with the experience. So he's given youth his chance. He's missing Paul Roach, all right, who's a big loss to him. Good to see Richie Keogh recovering as well. But I suppose the main thing is that they be very, very competitive today, and to step on and maybe get a run through the qualifiers later on in the year. New goalkeeper, of course, Declan. We're so used to seeing Damien Fitzhenry kind of, you know, he's in our thoughts all the time. We expect to see him running out there tonight, but of course he's not. Yeah, well, Damien is nearly here since the Sunday game started. He's there that long. But in fairness to Noel, I mean, he stepped in, he came in under the radar. Maybe Dermot Flynn was expecting to get his chance this year, but Noel has taken his chance extremely well. He had a really great league final. He came out and commanded his area. So, and he's experienced enough with Clubon, his local team as well. So I've no doubt that Noel will be a competent performer tonight in behind the backline for Wexford. Yeah. You were also mentioned there just a moment ago about Richie Keogh. Now, Richie had an injury recently. You were a little bit surprised to see him back so soon in the team. Well, I suppose the word going around Wexford was that he was possibly out for the season. Then it came back to 6 or 8 weeks. But obviously, you know, sometimes injuries at the time. He got injured playing with his club Fight Harriers in the championship, but he's made a good recovery. But obviously he's here tonight, and he's a big championship player. He's a big, strong guy. He's inspirational with his high feeling and the way he drives out. So I'm sure Colm, while disappointed to lose Paul, he'll be extremely happy to have Richie Keogh back in the half-back line.
One of the things, Pete, that Galway people will be hoping doesn't happen is that Wexford have one of those days which they can have when they are completely on fire.
Well, you can have that with Wexford, and the pressure is on Galway today, and Wexford, not saying anything against them, but what they'll be looking for today is a big performance. And the longer they can keep Galway at bay and frustrate Galway, keep the scores down, the longer they stay in the game, the more difficult and the more confident they'll be getting as the game grows. Bonner knows what it takes to win All-Ireland, he knows what it takes to win provincial medals, and he'll be throwing everything that he can at Galway this afternoon. A big performance is what Wexford will be looking for.
All right, let's see how the teams face up to each other this evening at Nolan Park. Now, the opposing lineups from Ger Canning and Donald O'Grady.
Michael, the last time these two counties met in the championship, the country was heading into the so-called Celtic Tiger good times. Right now, hurling fans would settle for a good 70 minutes. And Galway's goalkeeper Colm Callanan has had a good year so far, playing behind a full back line in which Ollie Canning has been a model of consistency. On the half line, there's the first championship start today for 3 years indeed for former captain David Collins. The midfield once again shows Ger Farragher partnering David Burke. Damien Hayes has been given the number 10 shirt, where he did so much damage to Cork in the league final, while Joe Gantley gets his first championship start alongside the other Joe. That's Joe Canning, scorer of 7 goals and 72 points so far at this level. Donald O'Grady.
Well, a player that has impressed me very much in the league was Aidan Hart, the right corner forward. Big, strong player, and he looks to seek to take the correct option each time, and that's something that you always look for an inter-county player, and very impressive in the league final as well. So I'm looking for big things from him tonight.
So a big debut for him. And Wexford have changed their goalkeeper, as you've been hearing. 18 years after Damien Fitzhenry started, the new man is Noel Carton. And he has another debutant in front of him this evening. Lar Prendergast is chosen to play at right corner back. The highly versatile Darren Stamp anchors the Slaney half-back line. Teenager Harry Keogh is Colin Farrell's ally in the centre of the field. Michael Jacob, who returned to the panel during the league, is picked to start at right half-forward, with his younger brother Rory in the inside line, which also includes Stephen Banville and Peter Atkinson. Donald, your thoughts?
Well, Noel Carton, the goalkeeper, comes in after 18 years of Damien Fitzhenry, who was one of the Prince of goalkeepers, and he has a very, very impressive league. And I must say, what impressed me about him, he's very competent around the square, and you know, when there's a mixture of forwards and backs on top of him, he does very, very well. So I think he'll go very well in this game.
Thanks indeed, Donald. As we know, a Galway team has never beaten Wexford in the championship. Will tonight be the night? We'll find out soon, Michael.
We will indeed, Ger. We have a break to take here in the programme. Back after that with our live featured match from the Leinster Championship. We're looking forward to the